Now arriving at Neon.
I'll find my own path.
Hello, I'm Tama. I don't usually talk in my videos, but I wanted to go through the things you can find on this new Neon Junction map, so I thought it might be easier to do it while speaking. But if I don't sound professional at all here, then forgive me for that. Let's start with the shopping mall here. This Tokyo 1010. This is clearly a reference to the Ueno Marui shopping mall, which is an actual shopping mall in Tokyo. And then let's look at the shops. The logos on these stores resemble actual shops, but kind of scrambled up, like they're combining a font from a blue logo with red color or something like that. The font on Moda Shift is very similar to the Taito Station game store, and Kurodaise's color reminds me of Muji, and Fancy looks so much like some store I just barely can't remember. Kurodaise might refer to the Issei Miyake cosmetics brand, but the name appears to be some fan-made character from the Utau fandom, similar to Vocaloid. Null form is a term in vector mathematics, which I think works great in this universe. Then, if we look at these movie posters here, well, first of all, you can see the big YOASOBI banner there. YOASOBI is the two-person band that made the collab song Orion. The movie posters here, the first one is Tsuki no Mukode, which is like beyond the moon or the other side of the moon. I'm not sure what that one refers to, but if you know, please tell me. Then there's Monstorogizu, so Monstologies, which is probably a reference to Pokemon or Digimon or something like that. Then there's the wishful thinking poster. In Japanese it says Majo no Kanojo, so witch girlfriend. It could be a reference to Kiki's delivery service, but I kind of think it's probably some other of the tens of which anime and movies they have in Japan. And the last poster says Yurei Toshi, so like Ghost City, and that also looks very familiar, but I cannot pinpoint which anime it is from. You have peanuts butter potato sold here. I don't know why it has the picture of banana there, but it says price. Then you have the Murloc here, of course, which is a character from World of Warcraft universe. It's cute. It bounces if you hit it. Now let's go outside and see what's here. Well, first you have the... Oh, by the way, those are ads for fugu or pufferfish, which is dangerous delicacy in Japan. But if we go here into Haro Honey, there's a big health pack here, so if you want to know where the health packs are, here's one. And then we have all these like beehives here, and actually if you hit them, some bees will come out and you will start getting damage. So, you know, be careful, or just grab the health pack after.
I'm restored.
This here is a Manekineko, which is a traditional good luck charm in Japan stores. The waving hand is kind of beckoning people to come into the store and buy stuff. And here's another health pack if you need one, and another YOASOBI poster. They also have this big YOASOBI light here and Hobby World. And actually Hobby Japan is the biggest store in Japan for miniatures if you're looking for some. Then there's the koi fish or the carps. They remind me of the Ghost in the Shell movie, or I think Cyberpunk also has some koi holograms around. And this, certainly not Gundam, is actually not Gundam, it is Andromeda. Here you can see the poster, and from the spray we get from the current Shion event, we know that the name of this girl is Pia, and the mech is Andromeda 3. The title of the, I don't know if the movie or game, but it is Chō Uchu Daisan, so the Great Galactic War or Great Space War, and below it just says Star Infinite. And did you know that actually Cassiopeia was the mother of Andromeda? So there's a kind of reference there too. Pia, Andromeda, kind of. Then if you go around here, there's another health pack, again, if you need one. And then 2 bikes. I heard that this white one has been used in the Tracer motorbike highlight intro. But the one behind here, if you look closely, it says Yokai, and it has a fox spirit logo there. So this is probably Kiriko's bike.
Wait till you see me on my bike.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I forgot from here. There's this car ad here that you can see on the loading screen as well. Fujin, of course in here it kind of refers to the Fuji mountain back there. But Fujin actually means wife in Japanese. Now if we continue here to the store, first of all I also found these posters funny. You have Doki Doki here and Uki Uki there. And they're like onomatopoeia for being excited. So Doki Doki Uki Uki. And this one just says kirei. So pretty. But if we go inside here, you have some posters. I'm not sure what these are referring to. Super Machine 2 and Dystopia. The name below this one is Kojima Yuji, which didn't ring any bells to me. Might be a reference to Kojima Hideo, who is a famous game maker. Then you have the Murloc plushies, and this is Zeta-kun, who is the mascot of Zeta Division, who is one of the pro teams in Overwatch Champions series. They are a Japanese team, so that's probably why they are featured here. There's another health pack. And then if you go forward here, this is the Andromeda statue, of course. Then you have some Yoasobi plushies, the band duo again, and some more Andromeda stuff and Dystopia stuff. And as you can see, you can find Manekinoko all around this map on all stores. Here you have some manga. These are probably again referring to actual comics, but I'm not sure which ones. Hunter X. This looks very familiar again, but I don't know which one it is. This is Kokoro no Jounetsu, so Heart's Passion. And then you of course have a health pack here as well. Now going to the other side, we have a capsule machine shop, which has some options that we know, like Winton here, and the Murlocs again, and these guys, Pachimari and was it Yachimari, and kitties. But otherwise there's not much here. A health pack, small one, and then just high ground with access to both this side and the point side here. And then if you go back down here, we have a Hashimoto car, which has a gun here. Ominous. They're probably escorting this thing here, which is the payload. And according to the dev stream, this is where they are transferring the anime weapons, which Shion is going to sell to Vendetta. It has the Hashimoto logo on it. Then if we go on this side, there are some restaurants and shops. There's the sandwich place here, a cafe, Kissa Tomoshibi, basically Cafe Tomoshibi. Then there's Kitchen Niko, Bar Junkoi, and here we have Izakaya Teppen. By the way, they clearly have a season theme here. This one says Akitaya Restaurant. And then if you go here, this is Natsumeya Udon. So this is summer and that is autumn. Here's a kitchen entrance. Here's a health pack. And this singing octopus, Utau Tako, is a takoyaki bar. You have some food here, and there's takoyaki, and another health pack, and a manekineko, of course. Circling back here, I noticed there's a graffiti here. Hanzo ga kage kara miteiru. So Hanzo is watching from the shadows, which apparently is a reference to a similar thing in the Hanamura map. Then if we go around here, we get to the train station. Hasumi Station. Hasumi Station is probably a reference to an urban legend about a woman called Hasumi who was on her normal commute to work, but the train wouldn't stop until an hour later she got off at Kisaragi Station, which doesn't exist. And she was trying to get out of there and calling for help, but couldn't find any way out and ultimately disappeared completely. But yeah, here, if the space or these lights turn red, then you should get out of here, because a train will come through here and kill you. And just so you know, contrary to some people's expectations, Mizuki Ultimate doesn't stop the train from killing you. But yeah, this is a good high ground place where you can see both sides of this area, and you can walk to either side. And there are also some good flank options. This place looks really beautiful. It says it is the Asahi Jinja. There's also a health pack here, but you cannot go there. However, if you go up on this building, you can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on there. I'd love to see that closer. It looks really pretty. Then here we have another Hashimoto car and Umazukiya, so the house of two tasty. There's some sake here on display, and a manakinoko, and a health pack, and some sushi. On this side we have a fox statue. The fox is a very common deity in Japanese Shinto religion. And here we have the defender's firstborn, and this is where I have to change with a bit of magic. By the way, did you know that Shion's weapons spell her name? The right one says Shi, which means death, and the left one says On, which means grudge. I think she chose that name for herself at some point. Anyway, let's look inside this thing. There are a lot of weapons here. This is actually the forge where Kiriko's father Toshiro works. You can see it in the Cursebreaker storytime where he sits with Mizuki and talks about Mizuki's family and gives him his weapon. Here we appear to have some sort of animal essences. There's deer, shika, and then there's the Japanese raccoon dog, tanuki, the carp, koi, and then there's the crane, tsuru. And these are all considered kind of lucky or magical animals in Japan. And I wonder what this sword is. maybe something new. This, I don't know if this is an ATM or what, but it's really cute. Then we move on to the Kabuki Theater here. The big lantern in the middle says Zuiko-za, which directly translated is like holy light seats, but I think it's the name of this theater. The red banners say Kyodai Sokokutan, which means sibling rivalry, reference to Genji and Hanzo, of course. The tiger logo is, by the way, a classic Yakuza theme, so it appears a lot in stories where Yakuza are involved. These posters here repeat the same things, so it's Suikoza and Kyodai Sokokutan, except the one here, this says Inari no Miko, which is Shrine Maiden for foxes. Inari is actually the tofu skin that you use in certain kind of sushi, but the story says that foxes love to eat inari, so that's why it often refers to foxes or the fox god. Here, this is actually a really good flank option if you want to go here. There's a big health pack here. This banner just says Hashimoto Gumi, so the Hashimoto group. And yeah, if you go up here, you can get a high ground, defending or attacking, whichever you want. And then you can go on this side, there's a smaller health pack, and you can also access this one from outside and inside. There's also this small window here that doesn't actually have a room around it, but if you're a Japanese character who can climb, you can easily go through there. Oh, by the way, here this says tomare, which is stop in Japanese. This is actually used with or instead of stop signs sometimes. If you plan on driving a car there, you should probably know this sign. There are a lot of rooms in this theater, so I like the options it gives when you play in it. Here you have some beautiful swords on display, but it says no shoes, so I can't go there. The tatami would be ruined. And here, if you go up, there's a taiko drum, and you can actually play it. And then you have this high ground for the attacker's side, or defenders if you want to flank. And you can go all the way down here. There's a small health pack, and you can get to the side of the stage. And here's another small health pack in this room, and then another one on this side, which is where you are basically coming from if you're an attacker. This banner here says Shichiten Hakki, so 7 falls and 8 rises, which is basically a saying like never give up or always rise up again. And I think it's good advice for anyone playing in comp and just giving up after the first team fight, because there have been so many games that I have actually won even though we start rough. But as soon as we get the flow going with our team, then we end up winning anyway. And here we have the stage, which is where you deliver the payload in the end. And there is a big beach here. And you can also see a dog there, and a monkey, and a pheasant. So clearly they are playing the traditional story of Momotaro here. You can also walk through here to get to this room. So basically most of the rooms have access to one another, and you can also get there the high ground from inside. But now we're entering the Hashimoto lair. Back here you have a beautiful little Zen garden here in the middle, and some weapons again, a gun and a kunai. And then if you look up here, you have this painting, which is kind of like the one in Hanaoka. But here we have an Oni, or a demon, slaying the dragon. An Oni with 2 horns, quite like Shion, I might add. But anyway, that was everything I could find in this map. If you found something I missed or know any of the references I couldn't get my brain to work on, please drop a comment or come say hi to my streams. Thanks for watching and bye bye!